Now, whether you're trying to conceive or preventing further pregnancies or timing a baby boy or a baby girl, understanding your ovulation is key. It will help you in better planning. It will help you trying to achieve that natural birth control or even achieving your fertility goals. Now, in today's video, we will be discussing ovulation. Like, what is ovulation? How do I know whether I'm ovulating or not? What if there is a problem with my ovulation? What could be the reason why I'm not ovulating? Okay, so stay with me to the end of this video. Remember, I am Mary the Daktari, a licensed doctor, and this is your channel where you discuss matters health. So remember to subscribe, like our videos, and share. And by the way, most of the people who watch my videos forget to subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button and you'll be part of this family. Okay? Now, off to our today's lesson. We'll be discussing ovulation. Like, what is ovulation? Is basically the process where a mature egg is released from the ovary. Now, it happens once every month in every mature woman. Okay? When I say mature woman, is a woman who has already achieved puberty onwards. So, the process that egg goes through development and gets to a mature egg, that is what we call ovulation. Okay, now make sure you have watched our other videos, because there is a video on female reproductive anatomy. We have a video on menstrual cycle. It will help you to better understand ovulation. Ovulation is just a part of the menstrual cycle. So if you don't understand the menstrual cycle, it will be very hard for you to understand ovulation, okay? So when does ovulation occur? Now, we have the menstrual wheel right here, and this is where our cycle starts, okay, and goes this way, okay. And so we have this one as the menstrual phase. This is just a recap of the menstrual cycle, and this is the follicular phase, and this is the ovulation phase, and this is the luteal phase. Now, if a woman menstruates here, this is where you get your periods, this cycle, and then this phase is where now the egg develops from the small follicle. I said at birth, a woman has about 1 million follicles, okay? As the time goes by, some of them degenerate and others now develop into mature eggs. Now, this is the part where now this follicle develops to release a mature egg. Okay, and then this part now is the ovulation phase. Okay, this is the ovulation phase now, where the follicle bursts and releases the egg outside. And this one is the luteal phase, a phase where the endometrium tries to stay ready for the baby that is coming up, because now the egg is already released and you're expecting a baby. So this part is where now the body prepares to receive pregnancy. Okay, now this phase here, the luteal phase, usually takes about 12 to 14 days. In most people, it takes 14 days, the luteal phase. And this is what determines when your ovulation will occur. Okay? Now, normally your ovulation will occur 12 to 14 days before your periods. Not 14 days after your menses. No. 12 to 14 days before your periods. For instance, you have done your cycle. I said a normal cycle lasts about 21 to 35 days. This is the normal menstrual cycle of a woman, okay? Someone might be having 21, 22, 23, up to 35, it's still normal, okay? So wherever your cycle is, 14 days before your periods, you will get your ovulation. So ovulation doesn't always occur on day 14 for every woman. It's different. For instance, if your cycle, you've counted and your cycle is 28 days, 22 days, I mean. Now, to know your ovulation, you take 22 minus 14. Okay? and this gives you 18 or 8 days. 8 days. Okay? So this person will ovulate on the 8th day. As early as that, on the 8th day, this person will already have ovulated. Okay? And if another person has a cycle of 29 days, then minus 14 from this one, and then you get 15. This person will ovulate on day 15. Okay? And another lady here has a cycle of 35 days. To know the ovulation, they minus 14 from this and gives them 21 days. Okay, so the ovulation will occur on the 21st day. Okay, so ovulation doesn't always occur on the same day for every woman. You see, this one has 8, this one has 15, this one has 21. I don't know what yours is. You can comment below so I know. After calculating your menstrual cycle, after calculating your ovulation, when do you ovulate? You need to know. Okay, so every woman gets different number of days before the ovulation occurs. So make sure you know your ovulation. Okay? But now this minusing, like we said, is not the only sign. There are many things you could do to track your ovulation. So how can you track your ovulation? One, we say the calendar method. This now is the calendar method where you come here and subtract and draw your calendar. For instance, you have a calendar and you start marking on the days from the time you get your periods all the way to the day before your next period, and you get your menstrual cycle. And then once you have your menstrual cycle, you subtract 14 from it, and then now you can know this is where you're ovulated. Okay? But now normally using one method doesn't really give you a good idea of what is happening. You need to use several methods. Okay? So you have the calendar method. There are still apps that could help you track. Like you could put in the day you start your period, and then they'll tell you you ovulate on this day. They use basically the same method. Okay, they just take your number of days and then they subtract this 14, and then they'll tell you ovulate on this day. So you don't have to do much work if you have an app. Okay. Now there's the basal body temperature. Like we said, the basal body temperature is your temperature right before you wake up. Your temperature at rest. Okay? It's best taken in the morning before you get out of bed. So during ovulation, your basal body temperature slightly goes up. It might go up like with like 0.5. Okay? It might go up with like 0.5. But if it goes up with like more than 1 Celsius, that could be malaria and not ovulation. Okay? You need to make sure that you know your daily so that you can understand when there is a rise. Okay? And then we have the cervical mucus thickness. The cervical mucus thickness changes during ovulation. It becomes more thicker, more sticky, like if you touch it, it will stick like that, okay? And then it becomes clearer. It's not a little colored, it becomes just clear, like clear water, okay? Okay, scientists say if you take it and put it in like a glass slide, it will dry in a fan-like pattern, okay? And then the cervical mucus pH changes. It becomes more acidic. Now, for you to understand when it's more acidic, you really need to know your normal pH, like your daily pH. And then now when you measure that day, it will probably be more acidic, okay? And then we have a distinct pain on one side. This is actually a very clear sign, okay? An early sign that you could be ovulating. It could be on the right, could be on the left, depending on which ovary has ovulated at the time. So if the pain, you feel a pain, a sharp pain that is sudden, and then you try to calculate, and then you see that it falls under your calendar days that you had put, that could be the day you have ovulated, okay? And then we have increased sex drive during ovulation. A woman gets a high libido. They just feel like they're on heat, okay? It's just because of the hormones that are happening. and the woman then appears more attractive and relaxed. Okay, they are more friendly. This person that was all irritable, this person that was so unfriendly, suddenly they become so attractive. They start laughing with everyone. They just want to stay around some male people. Okay, they are on heat, and this is what is heat is all about. The heat. The heat is all about ovulation. Okay, so they appear more attractive and more relaxed. You could use ovulation test kits to see when you're ovulating. These ovulation test kits are sold in the chemist, so you could buy one for yourself. And these ovulation test kits basically measure the luteinizing hormone. The luteinizing hormone is the hormone that causes this follicle that developed here to burst, releasing the egg. It is the only time the luteinizing hormone comes in. So ovulation test kits will measure the levels of the luteinizing hormone, and if present, it will tell you that you are ovulating. But they are not a sure bet. You need to combine several methods. You need to combine all these methods to know when you're ovulating. Make sure you know your days. Make sure you have calculated like I have. You know you ovulate maybe on day 15. Then come back here, check your cervical mucus, check your basal body temperature, check the pain on one side, check about the sex drive, see how you act or how you feel yourself, and then you can know when you're ovulating. Okay? So, ovulation is just one day, but it also determines when you're fertile. So, when am I fertile? Okay, when is a woman fertile? When is a woman likely to get pregnant? Okay, so like we said, your ovulation will occur on a day, that day that you ovulated. So for our case here, the ovulation was on day 15. It was on day 15 because this is a 29-day cycle, like this lady here. So when minus 15, 14, you get 15 days. So they ovulated on their 15th day. If they ovulated on their 15th day, their fertile window is 5 days. Okay? 5 days before the day they ovulate and the day of the ovulation and 1 day after ovulation. Okay? So if this person ovulates on day 15, it means 5 days before that, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Okay? So from day 10, this person is already fertile. This person can already get pregnancy from day 10. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these days are fertile. And on the day of ovulation, and 1 day after ovulation. So this gives us how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On all these days, this person is fertile. These are the only days this person that get pregnant. Okay? After this, they are safe. Before this, they are safe. Okay? But like I said, make sure you know when you ovulate. This case is a case for a person who ovulates on day 15. For instance, our lady here with a short cycle of 22 days who ovulates on day 8. Her fertile window will be that day 8 when they ovulate and 5 days before. This is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And the day after on 9. So, from as early as the 3rd day of the cycle, this lady is already fertile. I mean, this is a time when you're even still getting your periods. So clearly, you could even get pregnant when you're still on your menses. If you have a short cycle, okay? It's not only 22, I bet even 24, 25, 26, they can still get pregnant when they are on their menses. So you have to know your ovulation. Don't take it that you're on your menses so you're safe. No, you'll get pregnant even when you're still on your menses. Okay? So this person now, from the third day of ovulation all the way to the ninth day of ovulation, they can get pregnant during this time. So if you're having a partner who stays far away from you and has to come and you're expecting to get pregnant, make sure you target these days that I've mentioned here. 5 days before your ovulation, the day of your ovulation, and 1 day after your ovulation, so that you get the right period when you can get pregnant. And if you are trying to avoid getting pregnant, avoid these days. Avoid having sex anywhere near these days. Do not try. Oh, I warn you, you will get pregnant. So make sure that on these days you don't come near a man if you're trying to avoid pregnancy. All these other days of the cycle, you are safe, my dear. So you can still have it and have it more. But during these days, just avoid it. Okay? So you're not getting your ovulation at all. Yes, you could be having menses, but you're not getting your ovulation. You're not ovulating. And if you're not ovulating, you cannot get pregnant. Okay? So why are you not ovulating? One, breastfeeding. If you're breastfeeding, especially in the early days after childbirth, you can hardly get ovulation because of this hyperprolactinemia. Prolactin is the hormone that controls breast milk production. So when it's very high, it causes no ovulation at all. So if you have any condition that causes the prolactin levels to go high, it means you cannot ovulate. And that one also includes breastfeeding in the early days because the baby breastfeeds very frequently. You also have high levels of prolactin being released, so the baby is well fed. Okay. The other condition is menopause. If you come to menopause, your eggs are done. There is no ovulation anymore. The hormones are just not aligned, so there is nothing that can happen. So ovulation is just ceases. The other thing is that when you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, a condition where you have multiple cysts, okay, like the follicles in the ovary tend to grow and just get bigger, several of them, okay, and you get polycystic ovarian syndrome. And normally it's both ovaries, so you cannot ovulate at this time because they cause a whole disruption of the hormones. And then the other thing is if you have primary ovarian insufficiency. Primary ovarian insufficiency is just when you're born and your ovaries cannot coordinate the hormones and you have maybe a fewer eggs and you're just not sufficient. The word is sufficient. Maybe the hormones, maybe the eggs or something, but something is not working out very well. If you're having this, then you find you have difficulties in having ovulation. Or if you are not getting your periods because of low body fat levels or excess stress or excess exercise. All these things affect the hormones. Okay? They affect the hormones, they also cause you not to get your periods. If this is happening, if you're not getting your periods because of these reasons, you could end up not also ovulating. Okay? So make sure that you have a good amount of body fat. You're not too thin, okay? Or you don't have excess stress to cause some hormones to come in and cause you problems. Or you're not doing an excess of an exercise, okay? Make sure that you balance things. You're a woman, remember? Yeah. And then you are on hormonal birth control, okay? Hormonal birth controls are like the pills, the injections, the implants, because these ones use hormones and the hormones work by preventing ovulation and maybe making the cervical mucus thick to make it hard for the sperms to go up. So every time you're on a hormonal birth control, you might not be ovulating. Most probably you are not ovulating. The eggs are just in a state where they're just relaxed. There is no cycle happening. Okay? Now, with all these problems, medication is available unless it's something to do with menopause, but there's treatment for all this. Do not die there not getting a baby. Do not die there frustrated because I mentioned something that you have here and you feel like, how do I go about it? There is medication available to treat all these conditions. Make sure you speak to a healthcare worker. Make sure you visit a gynecologist and know how you can control this. Okay? Remember, you can be ovulating but not getting your period. Okay, you're having just a normal ovulation, but in some case there's something that makes your period not come. Okay, for instance, if you have an imperforate hymen, there is no opening down there to let out the blood. Okay, or you just have something like anemia. In cases of anemia, you don't have enough blood to come out, but the cycle inside is just normal. Okay, so some conditions might cause you not to get your period, but inside there, the cycle is just fine. The ovulation is just going on like normal. Okay? And remember also, you can still get pregnant while on your menses. Like we said, if your cycle is short, make sure that you work on your days and understand when you're ovulating, because even during your menses you're already fertile and you're already able to get pregnant. So make sure you understand your days to avoid the surprise pregnancies. Okay, and this brings us to the end of our lesson today. Thank you for staying with me to the end. I was your host, Mary the Daktari. See you next time.